Good afternoon. Welcome back to Commander Outdoors. The subject of today's video is going to be 10 things you must have if you plan on living in the country, woods, off-grid, anything like that. I got my cheat sheet here because I don't have an apprentice to remember things for me anymore, so I got to remember my own shit. Now, I'll preface this all with a question. How self-reliant do you want to be? Because that, if you ask yourself that and answer it honestly, that will really determine how far off-grid you're willing to go. Out here, we're in the middle of nowhere and it's awesome. So, but the downside of that is we have to be extremely self-reliant. And most of that is covered in this. So I'll get right into it. Now, these are in no particular order. They're all pretty important. Now, a couple of the items, and you'll see when I show you them, are more important than others. But for the most part, you can get away with, well, you need all the stuff on this list, let's just be honest. So number one, I would say, is a chainsaw. And I'll show you the demo chainsaw. Is this guy right here. This is a Stihl 09L. I don't know if the camera's going to focus, but this chainsaw is over 20 years old. I think it's from 97-ish, around 1997. Still runs like a top. It's perfect. As long as we're on top of the oil and all that stuff, but you can see the chain is in good condition. There's no rust or anything anywhere. You need to have one of these. It's a must-have for cutting trees down, obviously, property maintenance. If you live on a long road where you're the only one living, and there's an ice storm, we get a lot of those, windstorm, thunderstorm, anything, and shit can go down on the road, you need something like this to clear your path. And for the obvious reasons, firewood, cutting firewood. If you cut your own firewood, kind of hard to do it by hand. I'm not going to go into the my self-reliance thing where he does everything by hand. If Dick Pronicki had a chainsaw available, he would have used it. And the next item on the list, I would say, is a firearm of some sort. This is a little Marlin Papoose 22, obviously 22 long rifle, stainless barrel, extremely low maintenance. You can throw this thing in a puddle and it's still going to go. It shoots little 22 LR like that. I'm sure you guys know what 22 looks like. Now, is the 22 the only gun you should have? Absolutely not. It's a good starter. You can take care of a lot of problems with something as small as this, believe it or not. Now, I'm not one of those guys who says, oh yeah, 22, you can deer hunt with a 22. Nah, don't be that guy, come on. But for small game, it's perfect. For varmints, it's perfect. We had a problem here a few years ago with porcupines eating the maple trees. If you watch any of the other videos, we made maple syrup, and kind of crucial to have maple trees for that, and the porcupines eat the bark all the way around and it kills the tree. So this guy was perfect for dealing with that problem. Now, for other firearms you may or may not want to consider, something like this 30-06. I'm not going to show every goddamn gun, so just deal with the bullet. 30-06, perfect for any North American large game. Or if you're old school, something like this 45-70. It's a 400 grain bullet, does a lot of damage, but it has limited range. Or I should say 12 gauge. This is just number 4 shot. It's perfect for a lot of things. Home defense, birds of many sizes, even varmints too. If this is all you got, it'll do the damage. So that's number 2. Number 3, I'm not going to show it because it's big and heavy, would be a generator. I would say a generator is extremely important. Power goes out here all the time. Now, we're still on the grid. So if you guys plan on having solar panels or wind or whatever, just disregard the generator. Although even if you're off the grid, a generator still would probably be a good idea. Uh, it should be self-explanatory why you need a generator. If you need to further explaining, you maybe shouldn't live off the grid. Number 4, an ATV or a side-by-side of some kind. Now, that is an '03 Grizzly 660. You hook up the trailer. My dad made a trailer. That's in the one video before. And that does a lot of the work. I just was working with this thing in the trailer for the last 3 or 4 days. We cut a bunch of these gnarly bullshit cedar trees down. Like that one right there that's in behind the Grizz. And the branches, they grow up and they grow out and up like this. So cutting them off is brutal. But it would have been a lot harder to haul the branches and the firewood if I didn't have something like that at my disposal. So, and I get it, it's pricey, but like, do you really want to use a wheelbarrow? Do you really want to haul stuff by hand? And if you do, well, great, that's good for you. I don't. We have technology, I like to use it. Number 5. Now, if you live in Canada, this is extremely important come May, June, and July. Even April in some parts of the country. The mosquitoes and black flies will carry you away. And unfortunately, a lot of the work outside for gardening and stuff like that has to be done during black fly season, and it's just egregious. Especially the black flies. Now the black fly season where we are, it doesn't last too long, but it's when it's there, it's just you really don't want to have to go outside. But sometimes you got to suck it up, put on a bug net, put on a bunch of bug juice, bug jacket, and just put your head down and go. It's just one of the things you'll have to deal with living out here. Number 5, 6, I don't know what one we're on right now. Spare parts. I'm not saying you should just carry an extra transmission for your truck, but stuff like oil filters, coolant, that kind of stuff. Maybe brakes if you're good mechanically. For all your stuff, for your side-by-side if you have that, or for your truck, that kind of stuff's really important. Stupid stuff like we have a log splitter, and the hydraulic pump, it's a gas powered one, and the hydraulic pump it was pissing out hydraulic fluid, and instead of hauling it into town, if you can fix it yourself, well, that saves a ton of time and money, because it's not cheap living out here, and saving money where you can is kind of important. But it was something as silly as an O-ring, so that saved hundreds of dollars trying to get that thing fixed. But spare chains for your chainsaw, that kind of stuff. It's really, really important to have spare parts. Number 7, I think we're on 7. Forgive me. Again, they're in no particular order, so just do with this information what you will. Food stores. I know I might get a little prepper and lose some of you here, but having some food on hand is, in my opinion, essential. Now, you don't have to go crazy and go 2 years worth of food or whatever. Just, a few months worth of food, at least, is perfect. Because if you live in an unorganized township, especially farther north, there's a lot of unorganized townships. And the roads they get plowed absolute last. And our road here, it's a private road, so we're responsible for maintaining it. And if you get a really bad snowstorm and you can't leave, or trees are down, if it's an ice storm and trees are down all over the road, it could take days to clear the road. And if you need groceries, well, that's going to be for a shitty couple of days. So, and we can go on the whole host of reasons why food is nice to have. Let's say you lose your job, you're laid off, and you can't afford to pay for groceries. Well, the good news is you can eat your food stores. So that's as valuable as money in the bank, if you ask me. Number 9. Now, I think 9... Yeah, it's like I think I did 9A and B. A decent tool selection. So, stuff so you can work on cars, work on side-by-sides, work on stuff in your house, build shelves. So, an assortment of saws, drills, grinders, sockets, wrenches, screwdrivers, that sort of stuff. Now, do you have to go and spend $12,000 on the Snap-on truck? No, you don't. Do you have to go max out a Home Depot credit card? No, you don't. You'll be okay. You'd be surprised with how little you can get by on, but this is more along the lines of what you absolutely have to have. Now, I would say drills, you have to have drills. This is, again, it's all my opinion. I know Sean James is out there drilling those big holes by hand, and that's good for him. I don't want to do that. We have drills. There's a company out there called Makita. They make really good drills. And no, they're not paying me to say that. I just really like Makita drills. And 9B is, if you live anywhere like north of Tennessee, I'd say, you are going to need heat probably at some point in the year. I know even Texas gets cold, but you're going to need heat at some point in the year. And if you cut your own firewood, a log splitter is something I would deem to be absolutely essential. It saves you so much time, so much bullshit, and trust me, it's expensive, it's a lot of money up front, but you will thank me for telling you that. I guess another one would be, you need to have gasoline or whatever fuel you have. You need to have that stuff on hand. What good is your ATV or log splitter if it doesn't run because you don't have gas? And what if you can't get into town because the road's blocked, or like now with coronavirus, shit's closed and they want you to stay home? So having gas on hand is pretty smart. And the last thing I'll say is, and it's kind of funny, but it's at the same time it's kind of not, because this video is probably going to take me multiple hours to upload. The internet out here is brutal, and you should have a robust DVD selection. That's a must-have. You know, you're not working 24 hours a day. There is downtime, and you do want to have something to be entertained with. And the internet out here, we're on ExploreNet. ExploreNet sucks. It's horrible. You pay through the nose for it, and it's a subpar service compared to what they advertise. So yeah, a robust, I'm talking multiple hundreds of DVDs, TV series, because boredom kind of sucks, and you're not going to be outside 24/7. You're not going to be, I know there's some people who are like, well, you live in the woods, man, you should be doing this and that. Yeah. Cut firewood all day and tell me you want to do stuff outside after that. You don't. So there it is. There's my 10, 11-ish, I don't know, things that, in my opinion, are a must-have if you live in the country. So, with that being said, if you have any questions, comment down below. If you have any feedback for me, want to start a discussion, comment down below. If you like the video, smash that thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I will see you on the next one.